Hello everyone, Mr.CanKnotNot here, and today I'm going to be taking a look into theories, lore, points, and overall story on Rainbow Friends. For those of you who don't know, Rainbow Friends is a Roblox game that is a thriller/horror game, which you have to do tasks while avoiding these creatures roaming around this abandoned facility. Before I start discussing lore and stuff like that, I want to make a point very clear. I do not consider the fan creations, like Rainbow Friends roleplay and stuff like that, I do not consider that as canon, and I will not use them to verify or form opinions. I'm only using the base game. So, on to the theories. When you start to form theories, you got to look at the story in different lights, and I only see a few ways to look at it. One way is that the Rainbow Fun Times Friends show was just a show that did really well, had a park and stuff like that, and the idea of making them real characters in the real world, not animatronics, actual beings, was quickly accepted by Oswald, and maybe it is that Trenton volunteered to be Blue, but Oswald found out somewhere along the line that more was being done than just making the friends. Didn't even know about maybe human experimentation or tie-in. It legitimately is just that the friends were being created, maybe some weird like technology or whatever. But once Oswald figured this out, threatened to cut funding completely, and so the organization freaked out and turned Oswald into purple, locked him away so they couldn't say anything and they could not stop the operation. This is easily destroyed by the fact that there are two computers logged into the organization named Odd by Oswald themselves, which means this isn't unknown to Oswald. He knows what's going on here. He founded the company and this organization, so there has to be more to this. The only thought process I can see working is Oswald made the park for funding, and with the facility shut down and in the state it's in, no further testing can be done, period. I'll cover some different ways to look at this aspect of it, but I'm going to hold off just for a little bit on this. Depending on when the show is made, it could either mean that the show was to fund the experiments and to get people used to seeing these characters and to make them more believable, or the show was made long before the organization was made and the friends were just a discovery that reminded Oswald of this show. I do have to say, Red's intentions are insanely vague. See, if we're going to look at the arguments that he wanted to turn you into a friend, or even that the fuses that you're setting up are meant for a machine that Oswald is trying to make, or Red is trying to make, I would say that one, I don't think he would have put us into a life and death situation, because if you're going to test something like this on someone, you definitely want them alive and as well as possible. The second is with the fuses, why just kind of send us on our way? Keep us there, maybe restore the power, keep us there until the fuses are up, and then just have us put the fuses back in. And then we'll see what's going on. There's a lot of shady stuff going on here, but I believe that with given information, we can confirm that Red has been pretty much stalking us. He says he underestimates us and that things are going to get crazier, whatever that means. And honestly, our entire school bus is going to the park and gets redirected. Red knew we were coming. There's no doubt about it. They knew. So I don't get what's going on with this. I honestly don't think it has anything to do with any of those types of theories. I think Red is testing us, looking for some ability or skill, some trait, but even if it's him just looking for something and he's going to have us look for him, maybe something's in Oddworld that they want us to get, so that since we know that Oddworld's a safe place and we're near it and we see Oddworld, we see the Ferris wheel, we're going to head to the Ferris wheel for safety. What if he wants us to go there? Just the thought process to say. But what exactly is Red looking for here? Now, with that completely out of the way, and with this thought process in mind, let us now discuss the Rainbow Friends. Now, quick disclaimer on this section, the Rainbow Friends, in my opinion, are going to be blue, green, and orange. 3 characters that we see used for advertising from Rainbow Funtime Friends. pink and purple were probably even planned to be added to the show. Maybe the show was still going on when the park was up. I think the 5 that we see in the beginning of the Ride Through Hemlock Woods ride is actually the 5 friends, the Rainbow Friends. I do not think that red is one of the Rainbow Friends. The speculated yellow, black, brown, all of these other colors, I don't think they are Rainbow Friends, or at least not yet, but they are friends. Friends is the term I'm using for these creatures. Now, I want to first turn our attention to the pod with the text "they were created here." Could this mean in the facility? If we read the sign, it says they were discovered or created in Hemlock Woods. Now, let's hold this off to the side for a second, because there is a way to validate this. But could this mean that volunteers were brought from the park into the facility using the ride you're in, or even an underground method, maybe sewers or drains, or even the vents? The reason why I'm pointing that out, get to that in a moment, in the facility. Now, I have a few theories as to why the facility is closed, but we'll get to that as well once we get to what the area is that we're in. We can confirm everything that I just said within the fact that this sign said the friends were made in Hemlock Woods, as well as the writing on the wall saying they were created here. The ride is the log ride through Hemlock Woods. Now, as far as my thoughts of how the pod is used, it would have been filled with a substance that behaves kind of like mutagen from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and symbiotes from Spider-Man. It will act kind of like a suit, and as long as the substance is on the host, it will mutate them into whatever DNA is applied. So basically, blue is more human due to no DNA being added, or even human DNA being added. Orange's substance would have had maybe crocodile or alligator DNA. Green is possibly a snake or plant, mainly Venus flytrap. This could be why they're blind, because Venus flytraps hunt using touch. Green does not track using scent or hearing. It is just the sense of touch. This is a huge point for Venus flytraps, just putting that out there. Purple could be a type of fish, or they could be some weird slime or like hybrid type thing, or an octopus, Oswald the octopus. I'm going to digress, but could there have been an accident during transform too early or whatever, that left them stuck? Now, I'm gonna switch gears now. Red is similar to blue. Possibly they're someone who is running tests or whatever, probably working with orange or whatever. They got cut and they got infected by a small sample of the substance. The substance was probably diluted by water or sweat. Now, the biggest question is, why is it that red can talk? But pretty much all the other characters don't have vocals except blue. It seems like blue is sad because of something when you see at the end, and they're triggered by popping. I think this might be connected to the same incident that closed the facility, or at least part of it, but more on that later. I believe that this substance used to create the friends needs whatever is in the food that they eat, like that dog food or whatever, or at least to keep control of the host. Maybe Red is eating a mix of contaminated and uncontaminated food just because it makes them smarter. That this is completely a potential. And maybe it is that Blue eats maybe leftover cake from goodbye parties or extra candies. Meaning that Blue retains some of their memories and a good portion of their personality and regrets something. Now, if we consider the fact that there are only 2 named characters in the museum area, and that's Trent and Oswald, and only Oswald has a title. Could it be that, again, Trent volunteered as Blue? Maybe it is he didn't even know his strength and is upset about his first friend, which would explain why he's triggered by popping sounds. Okay, hello everyone. So this is editorial me talking over recording me. So what you just heard about Blue being a hugger and stuff like that could still be the case, but I tried to record the kill animation, and it turns out no. See, it's not blue hugging. No, it's yeah. I'm not gonna display it on my channel, so I'm just gonna sit here in my little editorial box and work on the rest of the video now. Sorry for bothering you all. It's not as friendly as you want it to be. Blue, why are you so violent? I've covered all the known friends except Pink. Now, here's a few things that can confirm that definitely Pink is, where at least was in existence. In the 5 marks in front of Log Ride through Hemlock Woods, there is a pink tile at number 5, even. There's a pink feeder, not purple, pink. And there's even pink on like the roofs going down to the sublevel A. I think these 3 things definitely line up to this. Now, why is it that we don't see pink? My first theory is that purple attacked pink, and pink is no longer there, and the other friends, except red, because I don't think red knows about purple, could be a lie. But the entire, that's strange. Why are the vents leaking? Maybe the friends know this and fear water and drains. Maybe blue got attacked and lost their eye too. It's probably the reason why they had to be restrained. Is probably because they're just deathly afraid of it too. Pink escaped the facility and made it to the woods using the vent we escaped through at the same time Blue met their first friend. Again, this ties in to the entire facility closing concept. Maybe Pink didn't stay in the facility because he did not turn out as expected and was put with the other rejects in a kind of, the best way to explain it is like a Jurassic World type pen. Between the park and the facility. And the last one is maybe Pink is in the park and is just mistaken for an animatronic. Could they also be patrolling the park at night to keep it secure? Now, with pretty much everything on each of the known characters completed, let's talk about the operation, the facility, and everything that's going on so far. We see that we're meant to be going to the main park, but instead we're taken to a closed portion of it. See, as I've already discussed, the log ride through Hemlock Woods. At first, I didn't notice it, but we are in fact inside of multiple attractions. The log ride, and then there's a kind of like a walk-through type of the park, kind of like the multi-stage like displays that you might see at like Lego World or Disneyland or Universal, where you're kind of maybe even going up to the ride and you have like one area that's themed after a specific area, and then you're kind of walking through the different stories, the different displays. I think that's what's going on here. It's 2 different rides. So the walkthrough display has the castle, the stage, Orange's Cave, the museum, and the party room. They each have a unique access for the different ride. As you can see, when you spawn in Chapter 1, you have a door behind you, and then you kind of walk out the queue line. I'm not talking about staff doors or like sub-access routes that would take you between the areas, but more of like the main hall that would be like the flow of the path, because you would go through the castle, out and around to the front of the stage, or at least you would go through the stage, you would go down into the castle, and you would go through. And it could also be the locked doors, like the one that's like pretty much just like plywood with the text, "You only slowed me down," could be orange, could be red. A lot of theories on that. I trying to keep this as short as possible, but with these different doors in mind, these could have been different access points. Now, the museum could also be an employee area access, but that is also a way to get to the castle, meaning at the end, just before Orange's Cave, you could take another path to get into the party room. Again, the closed doors could have something to do with this. With the area described, I'd like again to draw attention to the pod with the text. If they were found or created elsewhere, why would it say here specifically, we're legitimately standing in Hemlock Woods? The map literally confirms that the facility was the area that they were made or transformed in. With this in mind, I just want to point out how many people would willingly accept to be turned into a random creature without any assurance that it would work or that it's safe. Honestly, who would want to be turned into a creature whatsoever? The answer is next to no one, really. That's why I believe that the area that we first see Green enter in at, like that sub-area that's chained off, is how they were getting people in. That's how they got volunteers in to make friends, or to test. I believe that the area is also connected to the vents Purple is trapped in, and the Purple became a friend way too soon, and maybe ran instinctively into one of these vents. Maybe going over and harming a few of the employees along the way. But after Purple ran in, they were just stuck there. They can't crawl out through the vents. They're just kind of in there now. So exactly why did it get run down? The answer is as complicated as the question. I believe for multiple reasons. It's not just one. There's multiple. See, I mentioned before Blue in the first Friends, and Pink being attacked or escaping, depending on exactly what happens. There's a few options here. See, Purple gets trapped as Pink escapes around the same time that Blue gives his friend a first hug. That's automatically 3 different catastrophic events. Pink could be dangerous. They got out. We don't want this on our hands. Purple is now in the vents. We don't know how to get them out. They're dangerous. And oh no, the public just saw Blue. There was a big oopsie that just happened here. The second is Purple attacks Pink at the same time Blue gives their first hug. So maybe they were letting Purple slide, and Pink gets attacked at the same time, which means, oh great, we lost a friend. Purple is now proven to be insanely dangerous, and there's the oopsie. Now, the other possibility, my third thought on this, is Pink escapes. Purple gets stuck in the vent. Blue hugs his first friend, and then after all this happens, Blue is taken to sub-area A, maybe to be cleaned, and then gets attacked by Purple, losing their eye in the process, but manages to get away and probably scaring Purple to not want to leave the vents.
Not again. No. Wait, what about chapter 2? No.